whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe this wonderful Sunday evening. It is Random Topic Sunday. And if you're right here, the place to be is right here with me, only on channel GBoot2786, on my backup channel, Gavin Richard, on YouTube, if you're watching there, even on Facebook, if you watch there as well. I hope everyone is doing great. We've got a lot to get into. Shout out to What's Up, Kid Gravity Beyond. What's up, Crystal Jewel? She says, hello, Gavin. I love your channel. Thank you, dear. I appreciate it. Lamiko, shout out to you. Brothers, good to see you again. I just finished doing a live stream on Nicole's View. So shout out to that sister. I'm sure she'll be tuning in a second to hear my live stream. But we got a lot that we're going to get into, and I'm going to try and keep everything down to an hour or so. I won't be here too long, because I'm got some other things I'm going to be preparing for. But thank you all for tuning in. So we're going to pay some bills for a minute. So first things first, I want everyone, if you have not, to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell, so that way when we go live, you'll know that you will not miss a thing right here on channel GBoot2786. Tonight we have some discussions, some topics I'm going to get into, including, but not limited to, this: when clout chasing goes wrong. Also, we'll be talking about the approval by the United States House to give $6 billion in aid in Afghan relief to help with rebuild Afghanistan. And I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on a second. I'm having a little issue pulling this thing up. So stay with me, guys. Excuse me. Yeah, so the House approved $6 billion in Afghan relief. And last thing I wanted to talk about too, ladies and gentlemen, also is the shooting death of this Barry Washington Jr. I was just on the live stream with Nicole talking about that. So that is one we don't want to miss. We want to go into that. If you caught my analysis with Nicole, I'll go back over it. So you guys check that out. We'll be getting live shortly. Shout out to Bookie the Realist out there. Phantom Beat, Cheryl Macy, is good to see you. Good evening. Tylene, is good to see you, dear. Good evening. And so let's get started. But first, I want to pay some dues. Again, if you like to advertise on this channel, that is the link to the email at the bottom. That is the email, gavin.grich1@gmail.com. Also, if you want to support the Patreon, that is the Patreon as well. You can also, ladies and gentlemen, support me by going to nonniescreoleblends.com. That is the seasoning company that my father and I created, my family-owned recipe. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nonnies goes great with every dish if you want to order a bottle. And also, you can go and do a couple of things too. Go to iTunes and check out Video Soul. That was my latest single that was released. I'm into music, so you all can check that out. And of course, before we get on down, we got to get on up. So that is my single that's available on Spotify, Apple, and iTunes and Amazon. You guys can stream that, and would appreciate your support. But without further ado, guys, we know how we always start this off. Well, I don't know why this always gives me a difficult time. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Yeah, of course I trust it. It's my browser. Always want to give me a difficult time. Excuse me. Let's begin, guys.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, cause on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind, and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll meet.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
Baby, yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up. Baby.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up.
All right. Feel the groove, get on the floor, got to get on up. I am just rushing over here. What's up, everybody? As soon as I click off Nicole's view, shout out again to my sister Nicole, doing her podcast version of her live stream. I have to come on, hop on here and do my show because it's Sunday. You know how we do it every Sunday, every Thursday, and Tuesday. We do a live stream, random topic broadcast here on channel GBoo 2786, Gavin Resharp, my backup channel, and on Periscope, Gavin Rich 2786. I don't know what's going on, but I can't even see that I don't know what they did, but supposedly it says I'm live on Periscope, but I'm not seeing in my viewer section anybody that's viewing on it. So I don't know what janky thing is going on with that. But first and foremost, shout out to everyone that is present watching the live stream. We got a lot to get into. I'm gonna get it on. We're gonna get into it. I'm stumbling with my words today, guys. And y'all excuse me if I eat over here. I try not to do that when I'm on live stream, but I may take a bite of an apple. You know, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. You know, I'm into fruits. Like my favorite fruit right now, especially with me trying to get healthier and slim. I don't know if you guys eat raspberries, but I love me some damn raspberries. I love blackberries. I love blackberries. Blackberries are real good for you. You know, they have the antioxidants that supposedly are supposed to help you fight, you know, any diseases that may be coming, help you with diabetes, help you with give you fiber, cholesterol, things of that nature. You got to have enough fiber in your body. Apples, of course, is always good. Uh, Supposedly, apples also help with hair loss, but I'd have to eat a whole barrel, uh, apparently, to get that back. But I look good even with this haircut. I like it. So, what's up, everybody? What's up, Byron D? I saw you in the live stream with Nicole. You're over here, family. I appreciate you being over here. I'm gonna have to, and y'all heard Nicole. If you're coming over from there, she's gonna have people from R. Kelly's. I don't know if it was R. Kelly's crew, but I think someone that knew R. Kelly that was coming on and that's been on their channel before. I have tried, and I've told you to reach out to actually R. Kelly's lawyer, one of his lawyers. I reached out to Steve Greenberg before. I never was able, unfortunately, to get him to come on the show, even though he said he'd be interested. But you know how that goes. But I would love to have his attorneys come on this platform and talk. Would y'all like to see that? I'm sure you would, to hear what happened. Of course, there may be some things they can't get into because the case is still live. Of course, you don't talk about attorney-client privilege or privileged conversations, but if they want to talk about what happened at the trial, and of course, they're going to be preserving that whole thing, I'm sure, for appeal. He's going to have to appeal it. But I don't want to get into that because I don't want to see anybody get upset with me. All right, shout out to Byron B. Butterflies. What's up, Queen? Let's get into it, guys. We'll begin. But yeah, this is what I want to talk about. So 2 weeks ago, the United States House approved $6 billion in Afghan relief. This story is coming out from Al Jazeera, and it's reported right here. It states that U.S. House approves $6.3 billion for Afghan refugee resettlement. Funding will boost the United States government agencies' Afghan refugee resettlement efforts after Kabul evacuation in August. The United States House of Representatives has approved $6.3 billion in emergency assistance to help resettle Afghan refugees in the United States after the country's evacuation operation from Kabul last month. The funds are part of a larger $28.6 billion disaster relief and stopgap government funding bill passed by the Democratic-led House on Tuesday night by a party line vote of 220 to 211, but it could face an uphill battle in the Senate. The funding will ensure the government agencies involved in the resettlement process have the capacity necessary to help our Afghan allies build new lives in safety in the United States. Representative Deborah Ross, a House Democrat stated. The House Democratic leaders attached the emergency assistance to legislation to fund the United States government, which faces a partial shutdown at midnight on September 30th without stopgap funding. Now, of course, there was no shutdown. They were able, I believe, to stop it at that point. But this bill is going to go to the Republican Senate. It is a Republican Senate, or at least a conservative Senate, and likely it will be overturned or won't pass the Senate. Now, there's a reason why. Let me take me off for a second. I wanted to talk about this. Now, it says here that Republicans in Congress support the funding for Afghan refugees, thousands of whom have settled in the United States to date, including translators and others who help U.S. forces over the nation's 20-year mission in Afghanistan. But the larger funding measures faces uncertain prospects in the United States Senate, where Republicans oppose a provision increasing the amount of financial debt the United States Treasury can issue. Now, that is correct because the United States government in general, let's look at the debt. I want to show you something right quick. Hold on a second. Let me stop this. I'm going to share this with you. Okay. You see this? All right. I haven't been on here in a while, but this is usdebtclock.org. Now, maybe they may be off a little bit. However, the United States government has been in debt for a number of years, starting from the 1970s when Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard. And if you remember, Richard Nixon was the first president to visit the People's Republic of China in 1972, if I'm not mistaken. And when the United States got off the gold standard, remember we started to do business in China with trade and economics, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is that we became indebted to the People's Republic of China. And the only reason why the dollar is not even worth putting, hasn't been canceled, and it's only worth putting on a roll of toilet paper is because of the interest that we owe China. Now, you look at this, hold on. United States national debt, it's a lot of numbers, it's $28 trillion, roundabout. 28,834,000,000,000, 105 million. I'm not going to stop there, but let's just round it up. $28 billion. Each citizen would owe $86,650. That's not counting the student loans that you have to pay, because I'm paying them still. That's not including taking care of your mortgage, your rent, your car note. None of that. Food, water, none of that. And here we have the United States government, our representatives, and yes, the bill likely isn't going to fail anyway, but our United States government is trying to put up $6.3 billion to help foreigners rather than help Americans who need help here right now. Remember, when this whole coronavirus stuff started and we were shut down for months, really a year, keep in mind, they had to worry about giving people $1,200. They filibustered and worried about giving people $1,400, but they have no problem giving Afghanistani people from Afghanistan, these refugees, and that's the real definition of a refugee, someone that flees another country, not somebody that flees from a hurricane. See, I remember Katrina when they called us refugees. We were not refugees, we were citizens. These are refugees. These are refugees. You see that here? That's a refugee. those group of people that came over from another country who are going to set up shop right next to you, right in the neighborhood near you. Their businesses will be right in our neighborhoods. Now, people may think I'm rude for being wrong, that I don't support. Let me be clear. It's not that I don't believe in helping others. Of course, we should help others. But the first law of conservation is survival of the fittest. Charity starts at home, as they say. We have to help our own people. We have people here in these United States, homeless veterans that live on the streets. And right here in New Orleans, we got panhandlers right under the 610, 510 I-10 bridge here in New Orleans East, right under the 510. Something that I never saw before in the 20 plus years I've been living in New Orleans. I never saw anything like this. Yeah, Kid Gravity. I know they've set up shop in Virginia. Northern Virginia has refugees. They got them over on the East Coast. I've heard about Detroit. I mean, look, the people in the middle, remember in Detroit, which is predominantly Black, they have a very small but prosperous Muslim community, Arab community there, where in the year 2000, if you read Dr. Claude Anderson's book, I believe it was Powernomics, while they didn't even make up 1% of the population, they controlled majority of the wealth in that neighborhood. And they actually made $70 million in 1 year. Now you think about that. We're the People's Republic of China right now, Mike. That's what we've become. We're becoming. We're not a free republic anymore. How is this possible? So Joe Biden wants to approve something like this. I mean, the United States, they have not, that Equality Act that's there, that Equality Act, that's for LGBTQ. Keep in mind, they were also not able to pass the George Floyd police reforming bill. And that had a lot to do, and this is what point I'm getting at, with your congressional representatives, in particular, your Congressional Coon Caucus, the Congressional Black Caucus, or whatever you want to call it, Congressional Black Caucus. Because, frankly, these are nothing but a bunch of there may be some in the bunch who are good. There were some, but honestly, they have failed us. In particular, the people that have been there, that keep getting elected time and time and time again. You got to be mindful of those Negroes, because those are the ones that traditionally don't do anything. They kick out the John Conyers. John Conyers actually might be the last one that did something, or I should say Cynthia McKinney. She was the last one. She was a real one. And I remember when they kicked her out over some drama, what happened when she got stopped by the DC police coming into the house. And I've heard stuff about them before, and how they treat the Black representatives. But she took but they attacked her. What's up, Danielle? Hope you're doing good, sister. Hot things out there in the Flush Parish. And sorry, we're really just getting started, but we're talking about this United States House approving $6.3 billion to Afghanistan. And yes, of course, Cheryl, of course, they would not. Well, remember, Biden has made it clear that he was not getting reparations for Black people. Let's not forget what your vice president, Harris, said. Well, I'm not going to do anything and say that it's only going to benefit Black people. No. Of course she's not. And they're not. And you know, this doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. You know, this country literally is falling apart. they're not going to give reparations. That's not happening. We knew that wasn't going to happen. But right now, even with all of this stuff that's going on, a lot of people, and Tariq Nasheed talked about Biden's remorse that a lot of people have in regards to Joe Biden. And I'm looking at this article here coming from the Washington Times. More Biden voters regretting their choice. Well, a lot of people, they're regretting it because they're seeing the shitstorm that's happening. But I saw, and it was from what I heard, in the Black community, his approval rating is still over 50%. I believe he had a 67% approval rating. And this is in spite of all the stuff this man has said and done. He called Cedric Richmond a boy. I'll never forget this past at the conference concerning hurricane relief. The stuff he said, he has not done for the Black community. Remember the promises he was going to make, talking about police reform. We haven't gotten that. And really, he didn't, he stayed strong on defending the police unions. He's backtracked on stuff. No George Floyd bill that's been signed. Remember when he spoke at George Floyd's funeral? He said that if Black Americans were going to get reparations, depending on whether Native Americans were included and how much it would cost. But it's these Negroes, I'm just going to call it out, older Negroes that are supporting Biden. It's the older Negroes that push this. And I got no filter. These old niggas, they're the worst. They will sell you out. Look at Clogburn. And Clogburn, by the way, helped get that bill killed because Clogburn, he actually wanted to take out some things, or agreed to take out not removing qualified immunity in that bill. Now, I'm not saying that it would have happened anyway, and whether it was passed, is the fact that as somebody who remember when he made that statement after Biden won, he said, I don't care what happens as long as he looks out. I don't really want nothing as long as he looks out for my children and my grandchildren. And this guy keeps getting reelected in the 6th District of South Carolina time and time again. We're electing people because they have the right tie on or because they look a certain way. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. They don't care about issues. So this came from Rasmussen Reports. They did a survey and they said it found, quote, that if the next presidential election were held today, 37% of likely United States voters would choose Mr. Biden, 43% would pick former President Donald Trump, and 14% said they would vote for some other candidate. Well, Trump only had he had well over 80 million votes. No, I'm being real. Well, that's true, Cheryl. You got to watch these old niggas. Somebody may get offended by what I say. Well, I'm sorry, but that's what's happening right now. A lot of them have not retired the baton and have not passed the baton to the next generation. And our next generation even is confused. They haven't been trained. And yeah, too many Black celebrities that look out for them. And look, I have family members that voted for Joe Biden. So it didn't surprise me to see my family members support him because they're all part of that. We got to get out of this. We got to get the Republican out. We got to get the orange man. But this is what's happening. Now that Joe Biden is president, you have Kamala Harris, who is vice president. If he steps down, she would become president of the United States. And essentially, while people are happy especially the Chucks and Pearls crowd of getting an AKA in the White House. This woman, from a standpoint of Vice President Harris, from the standpoint of politics and as well as policy, she would be a complete disaster as president. Look at how she handled California. Look at what's happening now. You hardly hear from the vice president, especially on these issues. When we talk about the immigration thing, that's all she supported. When this crisis was going on in Haiti, and I know there was video of her, that was the first time I actually seen her actually speak in months. He keeps getting elected, Butterflies, because we got people that are on automatic support. They're on automatic. The plane is in cruise control. The pilot is not driving. We're on autopilot. But y'all look at this. Yeah, y'all go back and look at this. And we're talking about this $6.3 billion. You can't even do the George Floyd Policing Act, although I have an issue with the George Floyd Act anyway. But that should tell you something about what they think of Black Americans. And many of our people who, even me, who believe in this country, believe in what it stands for, family members who have fought wars for it, cannot be treated like human beings, but they can treat people from outside the United States better. Remember, and Brother Dwan B was talking about this, and he was right. If you saw Spike Lee's movie when he was talking about World War II and how the white soldiers would eat even with the German prisoners of war, the blacks had to sit outside. That was correct, because the armed forces, up until Harry Truman desegregated the armed forces in the mid-1940s. I know that if you saw the movie that Spike Lee did about Black veterans in World War II, there was a scene that was shot in Faraday, Louisiana, which was not far from the Army base, I believe it's Fort Polk. Not too far around there, but in northern Louisiana. And they actually had a scene where the German soldiers were in a dairy shop, an ice cream shop, and eating ice cream with white Americans. And when the black soldiers came in to order some shakes, they said, "Niggas, get out! Niggas, you better take your ass and get out of here!" Pointed guns at them, and they pointed out, "Well, wait, you got these Jerry's eating these Jerry's eating ice cream in here. We're American soldiers. It didn't matter. You were a nigger to them." So they kicked them out. And when they came back, the brothers came back with arms, with guns, and drew them on the owners and took the shakes to go. But that's what Dwan was talking about. They will have their stores and shops set up, and it will be right in the black community. The gas station is coming. They're going to get approved immediately for a business loan for what, $500,000 or less, and they'll be able to set up their shop very quickly. Meanwhile, you can't do that here in the United States if you're a black man. You try and get funding from a bank, you're going to have a problem. You can get a car note, you can get a house note, but you can't get a business loan. But y'all check out this Al Jazeera story. But that's why, yeah, people like Clyburn keep getting reelected. It's a shame. I have it in the link there. And you guys check that out. Let's see who we got in the chat. I want everybody to please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. If you've not hit that Cash App as well, this channel is not monetized. So I would appreciate, if you could, anybody that would contribute to the channel, because it's very difficult and it's hard to come out here, especially taking my time doing live streams with you guys, but I enjoy doing them. to talk with you all. But any support that you can give would be great. Oh, damn. So I was about to go to my next story, and I didn't even. This is. I'm going to the link, but as I'm going to my next story to find this, I guess I can talk about it right quick. It wasn't a topic. What's up, some chick named Star? How you doing, babe? Look at this. This just came up. Robin Thicke accused of sexually assaulting Ratajkowski on the set of Blurred Lines. So one of Black America's hold on, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back to it. Damn, this is actually the article I wanted to go to, and I guess I'll go back to it in a second. But we got to read this. Hold on. The Culture Vulture. I like Robin. Although kind of low key, did he steal Marvin Gaye's song? The song is played. What's interesting is the song's played a completely different key. Blurred Lines. The groove is the same, but Robin told on himself because what happened with Blurred Lines. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up the article. What happened with Blurred Lines was that Robin, T.I., and Pharrell actually, when the song was released, they filed what's called an injunction in federal court to stop the gay estate from filing a lawsuit against them. So they initiated the lawsuit. But Robin gave testimony in a deposition, and he told on himself that he wanted to make a song just like Blurred Lines. Now, there was a song Robin Thicke did called $1 Million Baby. I won't play it because of copyright issues, but that song, I can definitely tell he stole from Marvin Gaye's Troubled Man, because the chords, the sound is the same thing. I'm sure they had to add Marvin Gaye as credited as a songwriter on that song because it was so similar. I could play it for y'all, but y'all go find out and listen to it yourself. But TMZ did a story on it years ago when this action was going on. But I listened to it. It was the same thing. I won't say any more than that. And Robin Thicke, he really hasn't been doing so much ever since he and Paula. I remember when he and Paula Patton were married and they divorced. But according to Daily Beast, Ratajkowski, the singer's love interest in the video, I believe that's her there. She revealed that all of these women that are writing this stuff in a book. So she has a book coming out. I don't know who this young lady is. But in her upcoming book, My Body, she says, suddenly out of nowhere, I felt the coolness and foreignness of a stranger's hands cupping my bare breasts from behind. I instinctively moved away, looking back at Robin Thicke, she wrote. The former model also claimed that Thicke appeared to be drunk on the Blurred Lines set. She described feeling the heat of humiliation and naked for the first time that day. For most of the video, Ratajkowski was partially naked. I didn't react, not really, not like I should have. Although this is the first time the Blurred Lines director said anything publicly about the alleged sexual assault incident, Diane Martell backed up Ratajkowski's story, saying, I remember the moment that he grabbed her breasts, one in each hand. He was staying behind her as they were both in profile. I screamed in my very aggressive Brooklyn voice, what the fuck are you doing? That's it. The shoot is over. Now, ironically, Martell defended the video and the song's lyrics after Thicke was lambasted for his creep-worthy lyrics and for being misogynistic. I want to deal with the misogynist, the funny lyrics in a way where the girls were going to overpower the men. Look at Emily Ratajkowski's performance. It's very, very funny and subtly ridiculing. But remember, this song, yeah, they were together for 20, he divorced Paula Patton, and they were together for 21 years and married for 9. I remember when this came out. Remember that whole song, and it wasn't the Me Too era even popping up then, but that 2013 year actually was the first. She's a model. That's right. So she was partially nude. So I don't doubt he put his hands on her, but they still they still did the shoot. But I don't know. I wasn't there, but she's saying it happened or whatever. They didn't prosecute him or anything. They're on a set. I know and have an idea what they do on these movie sets, but that's interesting that that happened. But I wasn't even looking for that. But that 2013 year, a lot of people don't know that that was the first time in over 50 years that not a black person on the Billboard Top 100 made it to number one. Not even in R&B, because remember Robin Thicke's Blurred Lines was being played on most R&B stations. Like out here, 98.5 WYLD had it, 106.5 out in Baton Rouge. When I was living in Baton Rouge at the time, they had that there. But they put Robin out there and they put Justin Timberlake, those guys. They're replacing even Bruno Mars to a certain degree. They're replacing the black artist. Yeah. But I wanted to talk about, yeah, so that's interesting. I wasn't even going to talk about that, but when I came across that was a surprise to me, and Black Enterprise was showing it. But this is the story I wanted to talk about when cloud chasing goes wrong. Now, this is a Jackson Memorial Hospital nurse. Her name is Sierra Samuels. Now, Sierra Samuels was working for Jackson Memorial and got fired because she was chasing clout, she was chasing likes. Now, what did she do? Now, she posted and took a video, guess a picture or video of a newborn baby with congenital disabilities on Instagram. This baby was born with what is it there? Ischemia. She was diagnosed with gastroschisis, and that basically, I hope I'm saying it right. And I copied it. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm helping my folks get sorry, I was helping my dad get tech savvy. All right. Gastroschisis. And the dad, and apparently, according to Fox News Miami, Samuels took to social media platform to make fun of the infant, writing, "My night was going great, then boom, your intestines posed to be inside, not outside, baby." And to add insult to injury, the jackass nurse, this is Black Enterprise's words, and I think they're wise, hashtag the photo gastroschisis, which means she actually told, and not only what this child's diagnosis was, but she violated HIPAA by doing this. Now, if those of you who not familiar with HIPAA violations, happen is there was a mandate by the hospitals where hospital employees, doctors cannot reveal or disclose private information involving a patient. They're not supposed to do anything like this. It violates not only laws but also policies that are mandated in that hospital. And so she was fired as a result of this. And what this disease is, this defect, is that it's a birth defect of the abdominal belly wall. The baby's intestines are found outside of the baby's body, exiting through a hole beside the belly button. The hole can be large or small, and sometimes other organs such as stomach and liver can also be found outside of the baby's body. So it's serious. So let me tell you what HIPAA states, the mandates. The privacy rule establishes national standards to protect individuals' medical records and other personal health information and applies to health plans, healthcare, clearinghouses, and those healthcare providers that conduct certain healthcare transactions electronically. The rule requires appropriate safeguards to protect the privacy of personal health information and sets limits and conditions on the uses and disclosures that may be made of such information without patient authorization. So she posted this, and an investigation was held and launched, and they fired her. Now, I think we can go to CBS Miami. I believe they have the video of this. I'm trying to wait for it to pull up. I don't know why. Let me ask you, how is it looking on your side of the internet? Am I lagging or anything? It looks like we're fine. Jeez, I hate this shit when this happens. Okay, there's supposed to be a video that was playing with this, but as you all can see, these are the posts that she put up. And I can tell from looking at the picture, she's a young lady. So she's got to be in her early 20s, but she should know something in the back of your head. Okay, so she's been with the hospital since 2016. So she knows better. She knows better. So I'm not going to buy, if she's been there that long, I'm not going to buy the excuse that she was young and didn't know what she was doing. No, you can't do that. And when you're in the workplace, guys, when you're in social media, exactly. When you're in, with social media, guys, especially when you're at work, please don't when you do stuff, if you need your job, guys, get rid of social media if you need your job. Don't go to social media at work, at least at work, do it. Because she got fired, and likely, because I'm going to say this too, because she broke HIPAA and the hospital's policies, she will likely not get another job at any hospital in that Miami region as a result of this, especially since she wanted to go viral, and now she's going viral for all the wrong reasons. Those hospital employers are looking at this. So if she comes up and there's a job opening and she applies for it, they're likely not going to hire her. Well, Cheryl, I mean, they did an investigation. So as far as I can tell, this is the facts of it. I don't know what more facts you would need. If she was taking pictures of children of this baby, if she took a picture of this baby or even brought it up and put that there, I mean, most jobs and businesses, you can be fired for any reason. It's called at-will employment. Unless you have a contract, it's a little harder to get rid of somebody. But when you have at-will employment, you can be fired for any reason. The hospital would be subject to fines. Yes, that's what happens with HIPAA. So they would be taking a risk. I mean, they're subject to fines, sanctions. Yeah. So not to mention she could possibly be fined for it. But I know you say you need all the facts of it. Yeah, but that I can't support. Normally, I support my black sisters and so forth, when they get fired, I wait to hear all the facts. But I mean, the facts have come out from what I've read. All of the facts are there. And, you went ahead, you put this on social media. And there's nothing wrong with being on social media. But if you got a job, please do not record anything while you're at work. And that's another thing she violated. If she was doing at work, recording something when she was on call, that was another issue, perhaps. I don't know. So I see people take pictures while they're in hospitals and record stuff, but they should not be recording. Damn sure should not be doing die. I don't know how you can fact check this, but I mean, it all came out. I mean, what other facts you may need, Cheryl? But she put the hashtag of the baby's defect up with the picture supposedly next of the baby. They didn't show it in the video, but I can't defend that. I'm sorry. No, you can't defend that. But please, guys, if you're on social media, at least be mindful enough to watch where you're recording. Don't do it at work. Play it safe. There are other hashtags and other stuff she could have done to go trending. I mean, she even talking about her job, that's one thing, but I wouldn't even have done that. But you put a picture of the baby supposedly up there with the hashtag, nah. Now your goose is cooked. So I hope that baby is all right though. Because that's nothing to play with. I mean, just making fun of the defect, that's not funny. I mean, I'm a comedian myself, and yeah, you find humor in everything, but it's also something called bombing. Sometimes it's not funny. It's not something I would consider to be a joke. On a baby, it's hard. A newborn. So yeah. All right. So last thing I want to talk about, this is some serious news. If you saw me on Nicole's View, I talked about this, and that is the shooting death of Barry Washington Jr. Barrington Washington Jr. was a 22-year-old, I believe, young black male. This was out in Oregon, in Bend, Oregon. He was out, supposedly how the story goes, he was out at a bar there. He complimented a white girl by the name of Allie Mentor, I believe is the name. And she complimented on how good she looked. And supposedly after that, Allie Butler, I got the name wrong. Her boyfriend Ian Cranston was present and didn't take kindly to his compliments of his girlfriend, and somehow an altercation started. I talk about this on Nicole's View, and allegedly, when I listened to the video, because I'm going to play the video, and shout out to first person I saw do this was Queen Shakur. I haven't had her on the show in a while, but shout out to her where she played this video, and I'm going to go ahead and play it. But before I play the video, that is Barry, that's Ian Cranston, and that I believe is Allie Butler. I'm not sure. Now, this is one of those videos, those 20-second videos they try to get people to click on a link. So it's not the actual video, but this is the actual video that I saw here. And someone is commenting on it, and D.L. Hughley was actually promoting this, the sister that was talking about what happened, and they're comparing it to Emmett Till. But this is the actual video that and this is not the one I didn't see with this person underneath here, but I did see the video that was posted there that I'm about to play. So I'm gonna play it, and I'm gonna warn everyone. And I own the rights to it, but this is fair use. It's being used for commentary purposes only.
Hello. Hello. One touch me. Get the
That clip was the execution and killing of, at the time, 21-year-old Barry Washington Jr. This is the man who killed him, Ian Cranston. He was booked on second-degree manslaughter but was released on $10K bond. The reason Barry Washington Jr. was killed in the first place was because of this woman right here. From the video we just watched, you can tell that there was a struggle. There was a struggle because Barry Washington Jr. was hitting on Cranston's girlfriend, who is right here, and you can hear her in the video. Cranston didn't like that. They start calling him slurs. You can see them tussling during the video. You can hear the slur. And then Cranston shoots and kills Barry Washington Jr. You can hear in the video that everyone is silent, and then all of a sudden people start laughing, and there's only one person who screams, call 911.
Right.
It's heartbreaking to know that Barry Washington Jr. was killed for hitting on a white woman. This boy deserves justice. Please, to anybody who cares, get the word out there. There's a lot of people out there trying to say that it's self-defense, but at the end of the day, they could have used their fists. This man chose to kill this man, and one thing that's really disheartening too is the police aren't taking it as a racial attack. Even though in the video you hear them using the N slur, the hard R, and plenty of other slurs at this man, they're going to end up trying to call it self-defense because the couple is white. Again, like I said, please share the news about Barry Washington Jr. He deserves true justice, and he might never receive that because his killers were white.
Okay, that was Melanated Anna, and this was Rocco. Rocco posted this video. I don't know, and I'll just say this: how I don't know who the girl in the video I'm talking about, the girlfriend, was. If that was Allie Butler, they say that it's purported to be her, but that is, I know from that picture that is Ian Cranston. That was his, because his picture matched his booking photo. I did hear what sounded like to be racial, although you heard it being bleeped out, what purported to be racial slurs. And I don't know who bleeped it out because, if you're going to show something like that, show the whole thing so we can hear it. Don't edit it, because then we'll be second guessing ourselves. I wanted to hear what was said. But you could see, I guess that appeared to be Barry Washington Jr. I say appeared because I couldn't tell the way that camera footage was shot. I mean, it was piss poor job. But and this is not me doing critic work on film and editing, but it wasn't the best of pictures. But you could hear the music playing. Did you hear them playing Dr. Dre? And only one person say someone needs to call the cops. There was no call for 911. You didn't hear anybody rushing out, at least after the gunshot was heard. I didn't hear any people scream. When I've gone to parties and we've heard gunshots, our asses were out the door. Our asses got out the fucking door of the party. We were gone. When Kyle, my best friend, and I, when we were up at Southern, we used to go to these parties sometimes. If you're from Baton Rouge, you've heard of it, Club Rags or the Plaza Live, things like that. The minute you heard a cap shot or gun, and sometimes it may have been people with cap guns and stuff, but you heard it was loud enough to get your attention and get your ass out of there. You didn't ask questions. If you saw people running, you ran. But we used to be there. We get out. These guys were sitting out there like nothing happened. What's up, Kamel? What's up, Computer Robots? I see you, Byron B. Knight Rider. Yeah, she was laughing. Whoever the female was, they were laughing. Who recorded it? I don't know who recorded it. And let's not forget something. I remember when Black Authority was quoting Malcolm X. When we talk about the West Coast and being up north and how up north is supposed to be liberal and so forth, we got to realize, as Malcolm X said, and this is what Black Authority was quoting, he said, quoting Malcolm X, he said, remember when you're south of the Canadian border, you're in the South. There were Confederate sympathizers even up in New York. Watch that movie Gangs of New York that Martin Scorsese did back in 2004, 2003. I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that movie. Y'all should check that out, the Gangs of New York, because that all was about race and how they had rival gangs, people from different backgrounds, the Irish versus the Italians. You had the blacks. You know, this was in the 1800s. So then I'm gonna go to this next video of it. But what I was saying in regards to that, and yes, this stuff can happen. I know men who, of course, men will fight over their females regardless, especially if they're in the club and setting. I haven't been to a club in a long time. It's been, I think the last time I actually was at a party or a club may have been in 2019. Now, 2020, nobody wasn't doing anything because we know that was COVID-19, so stuff was shut down. But I wasn't in, I can remember even then, especially the females acting up. Some of them, if you try and go holler at them, they got their girlfriends around you. And if they didn't like you, they would signal to the girl, like, let's get away from him, especially if they're in a group, like they'll look at you funny.
Bend news conference
But
tonight.
I try when I go out, never to go out by myself. That's one thing. Now, supposedly this young brother had friends with him, and someone said that they didn't even help him. I don't know how true that is. His friends could have been white for all I know. But I try not to go anywhere by myself if I can avoid it. I'm not, that's easier said than done. Of course, young guy, you want to go out and explore certain things, especially, I don't know where I think he moved actually from another state and lived out there to start his life.
Deschutes County.
I'm going to go to this video. This is from News Channel 21. And again, this is Fair Use. Fair Use Act of 1976 allows me to share and comment on any copyrighted material provided is being used for commentary, news, or educational purposes only.
DA John Hummel announced a grand jury indicted Ian Cranston on second-degree murder and other charges in the recent downtown Bend fatal shooting. 22-year-old Barry Washington Jr. was fatally shot in the early morning hours of September 19th. Cranston's being charged with murder in the second degree, first and second degree manslaughter, assault in the first degree, and 2 counts of unlawful use of a weapon. Hummel says he spoke with Barry Washington's mother minutes before announcing the charges.
2 minutes before I walked down here, I was on the phone with Barry's mother, LaWanda Robinson. I informed LaWanda of the decision made by the grand jury. I expressed my condolences to her and her family as they continue to grieve the loss of Barry. Based on what I told her, she thanked God. That's what she said to me. Thank God. There's a reckoning with race that needs to happen in Central Oregon. And it needs to happen now. To the hundreds of people who have been advocating on behalf of Barry and his family, thank you. Keep it up. I see you and I respect you. Our community needs you. Know this. Justice will be done in this case.
Cranston's now being held without bail at the Deschutes County Jail until his court appearance tomorrow afternoon. To read more of Hummel's full statement and his answers to our questions tonight, Go to our website, ktvz.com, for the web version of this story.
Sad part about this is that the girlfriend is now single. It's not a joke, but it's irony. It's a sad fact. But no, I never go out by myself, Night Rider. And Byron B, I hear you completely. Yeah, but I don't go by myself either. I go with my friend Glock. If you dig my meaning. Especially out here in these streets in New Orleans, I always carry my gun. You got to. Now, there's certain time you can't bring it in certain spots and so forth, but you can't really take a chance now because it's crazy, the stuff that's going on in my city. And I mean, it's not just New Orleans. I don't want to put it on a geographical thing. It's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere. But this was a young kid in his 20s. I remember what it was like to be 22, getting out of college. And even when I was in college, going to clubs with my friends, going out in spots. You know, I enjoyed stuff like that. Having a good time. And you don't get those often. So it's a sad situation that this kid, you know, died the way that he did. And this is always riding shotgun. Yeah. Well, I like to carry, you know, I'm a concealed carry holder myself. So it comes with me both in my car and on my person. And I say for anybody, buy as many guns as you can, especially right now. Buy as much ammo as you can. Look at getting you a couple of handguns, a shotgun for your house, and an AR-15. Because they want to come for the guns. They especially don't want blacks to have guns, but buy as many as you can. You can buy stuff even online. You can't, and let me clarify this, because people think you can buy a gun online. You cannot buy a gun online. Your gun still has to go through an FL dealer in order for you to fill out. You have to go through background check. That's something that's not mentioned when it's easy to get a gun now. No, it's not easy to get a gun now. It's actually more difficult. It's different from what it was even when my dad was coming up, because my dad, in his generation, you could buy guns at grocery stores. Schwegmans used to have shotguns. My dad used to, my dad, when he went hunting with my Uncle Dennis, his brother, he actually bought his first shotgun there. He still has it 50-something years later. So keep your guns, people. When I left for Hurricane Ida, that's the first thing I secured with my firearms, and I brought them with me to Texas. I was not going to leave any firearm in New Orleans with the power out, because my alarm was going to go. I know I wasn't going to have protection, and anyone and anybody, even though I'm in a secure community, we've had people commit break-ins all the time. We've had them recently in breaking in cars and stuff. So I wasn't going to leave my shit here. But y'all saw that this man has been indicted on second-degree murder charges. I want to pull, before we get out of here, I'm just going to share what the statute of second-degree murder is, because I like to give you all some truth. Y'all can learn a little law from the lawyer. And I'm charging you $150 for this. Now, so this is second-degree murder in Oregon, is that, except as provided in ORS 163.095, which is aggravated murder, and manslaughter in the second degree, 163.118 and 163.125. Second-degree murder, when it is committed intentionally, except that it is an affirmative offense that at the time of the homicide, the defendant was under the influence of an extreme emotional disturbance. So what was the emotional disturbance? So that's a Possible defense. What is committed by a person acting either alone or with one or more persons who commit or attempts to commit any of the following crimes. So, what happens when you're trying to commit a crime? Now, he had manslaughter, I believe, in the second degree, and manslaughter in the second degree when it is committed recklessly. A person intentionally causes or aids another person to commit suicide. Uh, the person has previously engaged in a pattern or a practice of assault or torture of the victim or another child. Well, that didn't apply here, but these are felonies. I'm trying to see what the sentencing for is this. So this is aggravated murder. This is, let's look at the sentencing on second degree murder. And let's look at the extreme emotional disturbance. So they say here, let's look at this first. It is an affirmative defense to murder in the second degree for purposes of ORS 163.115 that the homicide was committed under the influence of extreme emotional disturbance if the disturbance is not the result of the person's own intentional, knowing, reckless, or criminal negligent act, and if there is a reasonable explanation for the disturbance. The reasonableness of the explanation for the disturbance must be determined from the standpoint of an ordinary person in the actor's situation under the circumstances that the actor reasonably believes them to be. Extreme emotional disturbance does not constitute a defense to a prosecution or preclude a conviction of manslaughter in the first degree or any other crime. So what that essentially means in that last statement is that even if they find that there was a reason why this person committed this crime, that while they may not be prosecuted, while they may dodge the bullet on the second degree murder charge, they can certainly be prosecuted for manslaughter. It's, manslaughter, of course, in Louisiana, we call it, it's the killing of a human being, but there is sufficient provocation that takes place where there's a period where there's no cooling of the blood, in the heat of the moment. In the heat of the moment, baby, I lost my head, lost my mind. I didn't know what to do in the heat of the moment. Sorry, I get carried away a little bit with that, but it's not a fun thing to talk about with regards to happening to Mr. Washington, Barry Washington. So, no, Danielle, he was disturbed that that black penis was going to go in his white girlfriend and they were going to make a Laker. That's what was going on in Miss Ian Cranston's mind, likely, allegedly. That fear of a black penis. That's the problem. I wish I could play that song, but they'll hit me with those copyright strikes. Yeah, not like late '80s jams. But look at I just saw the sentencing. But if you're sentenced to if you're convicted of second degree murder, it carries a maximum penalty. It says right here, paragraph 5B. When a defendant is convicted of murder in the second degree under this section, the court shall order that the defendant shall be confined for a minimum of 25 years without possibility of parole, release to post-prison supervision, release on work release, or any form of temporary leave or employment at a forest or work camp. So 25 years at a minimum without possibility of parole. Now, second degree murder here in Louisiana, you convicted of that, you sentenced to life. First degree murder in Louisiana, that's life or death. Right. Well, death is capital murder, like but that that can happen if you murder multiple individuals or you engage in some type of felony. But either way, we gotta wait and see what happens. But I said I was gonna keep it to hours, an hour and 16 minutes. So we're gonna keep y'all monitoring on this. But that's all I got for tonight. Tonight was gonna be a short live stream, and I'm glad I did it. Again, I'm gonna ask you, what's up? No one who cares. Sean's not on this one. But I got a video that I am dropping later tonight at 9 o'clock where I discuss Dr. Meredith Gray and her bullshit attack on the Equalizer. Denzel should have gone King Kong on her like Training Day. But some chick named some chick you love my singing, don't you, babe? Yeah, I know she loves it. Y'all love my singing, y'all love my songs. I appreciate it. I got more work I'm gonna be doing, more R&B stuff I want to release. But I thank y'all for doing this. So I got a video that's gonna that video, so you all check that out. Again, I ask you all to donate if you like what you hear, you love what you love on this channel, then to donate to any of the links at the bottom. If you want to hit me up through Zelle at that phone number, that's fine. If you'd like to do the Cash App, Gavin Richard Esquire, that's great. I would appreciate it. And I know, Danielle, that they were going to make a Laker joke hit you, but that was true. They don't like that. The PayPal, it's the same, gavin.grich1@gmail.com. If you want to advertise, that's the link there too. And the Patreon is the same as my username here, gboot2786. We've had over 36 people in this chat. I know we've had more. Each day it grows and grows. I appreciate it, Janesta. I appreciate it. I need to start touring more to do comedy. And about that, I'm not gonna make any excuses, but let's just say life happens. And I just need to get out more because that's how you grow a following. A lot of people don't know this, but who asked you, Byron? What matters is the ladies love it. Danielle, you can contact me through my email, dear. Butterflies likes it. Some chick named Star likes it. I know Black Mama loves it. Actually, Byron, play the song for your cousins. Play the song for your cousins and all the other ladies in your family. See if they like it. Oh, I can dish it, nigga. You don't want. I got the skills. You don't want. You don't want to attack the comedian. That's a no. No, I appreciate it, Byron. Thank you for being on this channel, being a new subscriber. I appreciate it. We've had, when I did that live stream with Byron, Dennis Byron, I got a lot of people that came in. Let me put the email for you again, Danielle. It's right there, gavin.grich1@gmail.com. That's also where you could hit the PayPal and Cash App. I'd appreciate it. Since this channel and this live stream will not be monetized, you damn YouTube. But yeah, women love a man with a sense of humor. I know, I've heard the saying. But anyway, guys, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Rest in peace, Barry Washington. Yeah, they're coming for Denzel. Who's next? They came at, remember they did Morgan Freeman, but that didn't go over. And they didn't do, and that was after Bill Cosby. Harry Belafonte might be another one, but Belafonte is so old. I mean, they wouldn't even want to mess with. It'd be messed up if they messed with him. But Hey, they messed with a dead man. They messed with Michael and they messed with Will Chamberlain. They tried to do a dry run on Prince. His wife tried to do stuff. I mean, Prince's wife, Matei, was 16, was a teenager when they met. But it's like they got married. The parents, the mother and them, they okayed all of it. I mean, they were cool. They obviously, if they got married, they had to approve their daughter. They were young when they met, but I mean, look, Marvin Gaye's wife, his second wife was 17. The family was okay with it. Marvin was paying their bills. He took care of the family. So I'm looking at all this. We're going in people's past when the time and eras was different. Rules were different. Yes, it was bad. You know, we look at it now. Even with Elvis, he was messing with Priscilla when she was 14. I don't care what these fools talk about. Like they try to say, "Well, you trying to justify R. Kelly." No, stupid. If you're gonna go after one, you got to look at all of them. That's the point. What people are pointing out is the hypocrisy that we want to go back in people's past and judge them on their actions when times were different, but also when even those times are the same. Black and white are two different things. We're not talking about taking Steve Collins movies and Seven Heaven off there. We're not talking about taking Annie Hall or Bananas away from Steve Harvey. We're not talking about that. But that's the thing. And Nicole and I were talking about that before we left the live stream. Yeah, some men like younger stuff, some women. And look, these girls' parents, they train their daughters to go after men. Some of them do, especially single mothers. Not all single mothers. Let me be abundantly clear because I don't want y'all in the chat saying, oh, hell no. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying could be even it's even married women as well. But I know from personal experience, people I know personal experiences that some of these girls get trained by their mothers to work men. Look at the Kardashian clan. Now there wasn't an issue with Kim that we know of or Chloe or ever messing with someone much older while they were teenagers or anything like that. But their mom, I know their mothers worked them to get the bag, as we say. That stuff happens. Hell, Solange, Beyonce's sister, was married when she was a teenager, although she married her high school sweetheart. She was married when she was like 14 years old. I remember when that shit happened. And we were all shocked. I mean, that stuff happens. She was 17. No, she was 17 and he was 19. Okay. So they were still teenagers, her first husband. And they were married. They had a kid. I mean, you could make an argument, even though they're roughly like a 2-year difference. He's older than her. He could have been charged. But hey, the family, they all okayed it. So sometimes it's, other times it's, whoa, nigga, what? But anyway, guys, let me get on out of here. I didn't want to end it like that. But yeah, but you all please have a good night. I will be back Tuesday. I think we might do one with Sean, but you guys be safe and be blessed. I'll see you all in the next one, and you all have a good night. Enjoy the rest of it. But before we do that, of course, let me also say I want you all to please, if you can, donate to the Cash App if you could, but also if you can't, check out Nawny'sCreoleBlends.com, Nawny'sCreoleBlends.com. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawny's goes great with every dish. That is my jingle for my company. You also can get Video Soul. That's the latest single. That's another way to support me. Check it out. It's available on iTunes. And also let's get on up. If you haven't, go ahead and get on up. The backup channel is Gavin Richard, Janesta. That's the backup channel on YouTube. Shout out to Kamel, Byron B, Derek Bailey, few others. If anybody knows where Rosalind is, let me know because I'm worried about her. I haven't seen her in a while. Where's Rosalind? So you guys be safe and be blessed. Let's get on up and get out of here. I'll holla. Peace. Love you.
Girl, come on. Gotta dance to the beat, cause on the dance floor is where we'll meet. Show me what you got. Gotta feel the groove.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Right now the party's wasted. There's nothing much to do. But once the groove gets started, tell me, what do you have to lose? Just look into my eyes, girl, as we glide across the room. And what to my surprise now, the beat takes hold of you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really moving. Time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Tell the DJ play the whispers. Rock steady in the mood. Put on earth, wind and fire. Tonight we're gonna groove. Show me how you do the four corners. Electric slide or two. Hit the bus stop or do the bunny hop, baby. It's really up to you. Now if you're feeling like I'm feeling, so come on baby, let's start dealing. Time to get this party started. Ain't no time for the broken hearted. When the rhythm takes hold of you, there's only one thing left to do. Cause the beat is really grooving. Time to get your body moving. Gotta get on up and move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the.
Now 2020 hasn't been the best year of all times. We've been dealing with death, the pandemic, racism, bad policing, and all the bad rhymes. But like Uncle Snoop once said, if you breathe and you achieve. And so if you're ready, I need you all to get on up. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get your butt on the dance floor. 5 and 6 and 7, 8. This jam we appreciate. We're gonna slide and step on the beat. On the dance floor is where we'll be.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on up
And move your body. Cause when the beat is really grooving, it's time to feel your body moving. Gotta get on up and shake something.
Feel the groove, get on the floor. Get on the
Oh, baby, yeah, gotta get on up. Come on, baby, gotta get on up.
baby. Feel the groove, get on the floor.